Hi, welcome to the channel. I am Jessie Nebulous. Today we are going to be jumping back into the X-Files with episode 4, I believe. I do hope my makeup's okay. I was watching Breaking Bad and it made me tear up. So I had to do some emergency makeup work. Anyway, the only real insight I had during editing the last episode was that I would like to have more backstory on Scully. Because we did get like the rundown of her professional background, and her medical schooling, and we got some personal backstory on Mulder with the disappearance of his sister and all of that. But we really didn't get much personal backstory on Scully, and I would be interested to learn more about her. And I bet that's probably coming up pretty quickly because they've already established they're establishing the personalities and all of that, and the dynamic of their work relationship and everything. And part of that would be exploring who she is more. So I'm guessing either in this episode or maybe the next one, we might touch on that more, just from a storytelling perspective. So I'm hoping to get into that soon because I'd like to learn more about her. The only other thing I wanted to mention is that I don't remember if I talked about it in the last video, but I am kind of working on more of a regular schedule for the uploads. And I'm thinking X-Files will be on Fridays at noon. Alright, if you enjoyed the video, please leave me a like or a comment. I always appreciate that. It does help out with the algorithm. And you can always subscribe for more. And there's the Patreon. You can check that out if you would like to get uncut reactions and kind of support the channel. I believe it's $3 a month that you can get uncut reactions and, early access, that kind of thing. Let's get into it. Oh, this reminds me of home. I'm from Minnesota, and that sounded very much like a northern loon. Oh, it absolutely does. This definitely looks like somewhere up by Minnesota or somewhere. Something tells me this camping trip is not going to go well for these people. Okay, we got maybe an earthquake? Oh. Well, not an earthquake. Aliens? Oh, that would be terrifying. Having something like that. Oh, wow. Just hearing your child screaming, that would be awful.
Ruby's gone!
Why the hell would you let your kids sleep, or unless you're right outside your house? I wouldn't let kids sleep out without me.
Ruby! Ruby!
That sucks. I do enjoy the intro every time. Check out the Patreon if you want to get uncut reactions so you can just see me dancing and giggling about the intro. The truth is out there.
Requesting assignment and travel expenses for the both of you.
Sioux City, Iowa. That's the first I've heard of it. I don't understand.
In essence, Mulder is petitioning the Bureau to assign a case number to a tabloid headline.
But I mean, if
He
she's
must
missing,
have more evidence.
Not according to his 302, he doesn't.
I admit that is strange.
he must know something else. But I mean, the girl's missing. Why wouldn't they want to at least follow up with
Perhaps
that
it
kind of
has
thing?
something to do with this. Take a look.
Probably an old
An
file.
X-File?
Oh. Yeah. What was her name? I missed it.
Has he shared any of this with you? There's no need to protect him. He's the agent of record. He initiated the file himself.
She was his sister. He disappeared 21 years ago. He was 12 and she was 8. He claims that he was in the room when it happened. He recalls a bright light outside the window and a presence in the room.
In your opinion, has Agent Mulder's personal agenda clouded his professional judgment?
In my opinion,
I'm not
no.
crying from this
I
side.
can't see how it might appear that way.
I was crying about a different thing.
With respect, sir, at least let me talk with him and make a recommendation.
And it seems fair.
Substantial enough to warrant an investigation.
So we disagree. It's not the first time, and it won't be the last.
Well, at least if we had a legitimate source.
This is the essence of science. Ask an impertinent question, and you're on your way to a pertinent answer.
What makes this case any more credible than the 100-year-old mother with the lizard baby?
Because the lizard baby wasn't born anywhere near Lake Okoboji. Okoboji.
It's probably an old Indian name.
4 sightings in 1967, including one by a National Weather Service plane. Now read me the names of those Girl Scouts from 1967.
Is one the mother?
Darlene Moore.
It's the same Darlene Morris.
That's reasonable to check out.
But I never expected the FBI. This is Kevin. Kevin, say hi.
Oh, this poor kid. It's really sad. She kind of does look like her. Like a sister a little.
Some days I can't even get myself up out of bed.
It's understandable.
Kevin has been acting so strange. I just want her back again.
During the divorce, was there a custody battle?
Charles had nothing to do with this, because I know what happened. It's just like it was before.
Summer of 1967, the Girl Scout troop.
How did you know about that?
Your name's on record at the Center for UFO Studies.
Really?
Yeah, a pilot for the National Weather Service made a similar sighting the same day.
They took her, didn't they, Mr. Mulder?
Wow, they all have like the same color eyes right now. All these three people.
Kevin was there the night it happened. Do you think I might talk to him?
Seems a little traumatized, that kid.
Hey, buddy. Mind if I sit down? Your mom tells me you've been having nightmares.
I guess so.
You want to tell me about them?
No.
All right.
It's a cute kid.
What are you doing?
He's writing out binary code.
Can I take a look at it?
They did something to that kid too.
It's coming from there.
Oh yeah, they did something to that kid.
The TV? I don't know what it
What
is.
it
Maybe a
means.
binary sequence or something. Could be anything. Could be nothing.
As I was telling your partner, we found no evidence of kidnapping. Since we didn't turn up a body,
You assume she ran away.
it wouldn't be the first time Ruby Morris ran away from home.
Well, how do you explain what her mother saw?
Well, I think that Darlene has a very active imagination. I've been listening to those stories since the first grade.
So basically, you ignored her statement,
He did.
I included it in my report.
but you didn't bother to check it out.
We went out to the campsite. We didn't find anything. Let me tell you something. Darlene's little girl was no prom queen.
Who
I
cares?
can't count the number of times I pulled her out of parked cars or found her puking her guts out by the side of the road. It was just a matter of time
What
before
does that have to do
Before
with
what?
anything? What does that have to do with anything?
something bad happened to her. And if Darlene needs to make up crazy stories to get past that, fine.
What an unempathetic
I just
ass.
think it's a good idea not to antagonize local law enforcement.
Me?
That's true.
I'm Mr. Congeniality.
You never know, we might need his help one of these days.
I'll send him a bun cake.
Interesting. I am intrigued. Did she look familiar to me, or I think maybe she did look familiar, or maybe she just reminds me of somebody.
Ruby, right?
That's right. Who are you?
Doesn't matter.
Are you a friend of Ruby's?
Ruby didn't have friends. Just had people she liked to hang with.
And she liked to hang out with you?
Guess we had some times.
Like the night she disappeared?
It was Greg. She was supposed to see him that night.
Who's Greg?
Her boyfriend, Greg Randall. Supposed to meet up at the lake. They had stuff to talk about.
What kind of stuff?
Greg got Ruby pregnant. I don't know, whatever. She got herself pregnant.
Do you know what they were planning to do about it?
Gonna leave town. At least that's what Ruby told me.
You know Greg from school?
Greg? School? All he ever did since we met him was pour beer. The Pennsylvania pub.
Interesting. So the boyfriend sounds like a winner. If I had to go to a bar, it'd be more like this. Maybe less bikers, because bikers probably wouldn't like me.
Randall.
Who's asking?
I know that guy. He's cool. He's in a lot of stuff.
What kind of troubles he got himself into now?
Actually, we were hoping you could tell us.
Greg called in sick about 3 weeks ago, man. I haven't seen or heard from him since.
Any ideas where he might have gone?
No, but if you
Maybe
find
he
him,
did run.
you tell him he's fired.
This is the hotel we'll be staying at if you hear of anything.
Hey, that's a nice tattoo. What is that?
What's it look like?
Yeah.
Flying saucer. You don't really believe in that stuff, do you?
I take it you don't?
No, I think it's all just a bunch of crazy people howling at the moon.
So, you haven't been out to Lake Okoboji, have you?
No, I haven't. Why?
You should ride with you sometime. You might see some things that'll change your mind.
Interesting. Oh, good
Get a killer
lord.
sunbird in the middle of the night.
Wow. And then his eyes crossed. That was pretty. That was pretty great. I will love if Mulder gets on a motorcycle. That would be hilarious. I don't see that happening. I just think it would be great. If he at least goes and hangs out with the bikers and sees what happens. Music's quite unsettling. Could just be the wrong room, but you know, just in case. Oh, they're not.
Where's Mulder?
Who the balls are you?
Where did you get the document?
What
If you
document?
explain to me what you're talking about, maybe I can help you out.
Do not hit him. Do not hit my Mulder. Okay, good. Oh.
This is a document? This looks like a bunch of ones and zeros to me.
Tell me where you got it.
Tell me what it is.
Keep playing games, Mulder. I'll haul your ass up in front of the D6. Explain to them what you're doing obstructing justice.
It's your call, Holtzman. Unless they tell me otherwise, I'm not accountable to anybody outside my subcommittee.
That and you busted in. You could have used some professional courtesy. Oh,
Just
wow.
a fragment, but highly classified. We need to know where it came from.
Oh, man, to haul that kid away.
That's it, Mulder. You just bought yourself a one-way back to Washington.
The thing is, they'd probably, like, haul that kid off and study him and shit. And that would be awful. She already lost one kid. If they wanted him to comply, why did they bust in like that in the middle of the night?
You shouldn't have told them. They have no jurisdiction.
Mulder, they're NSA. I think the boy may be a threat to national security.
How can an 8-year-old boy who can barely multiply be a threat to national security? People call me paranoid.
I mean, where do you think he got it from?
The TV. That's what he said. See, look at this. They don't have to do it this way. They don't have to be cold and rude and mean and disrespectful. See, they're just throwing shit around and ripping, tearing. There's no reason to behave this way. That's somebody's home. That's your child's area. Why would you do that? It's so rude, especially knowing that they just lost a family member. Why would you... I hope you feel bad, Scully. This is your doing. Oh, God.
It'll be all right, baby.
Screw that. Screw them all. That's terrible. They just don't have to be mean. They don't have to be cruel. Yeah, you should feel bad, Scully. You made a bad call. And they busted open his piggy bank. Why did you do that? It's a child.
Really delicate work.
Let's get this to cryptography.
He's smiling. What a dick.
Sure.
Whatever melted that guy's ear probably scorched the top of that. But they didn't notice and didn't bother to check that. Maybe if they analyze that, they'll find out something interesting.
And none of the information is actionable.
Other than the satellite transmission, nothing can be construed in any way as a national security risk.
So it's just a random set of ones and zeros?
On the contrary, there was nothing random about it. When we downloaded the data, we found an amazing range of, well, see for yourself. Da Vinci's universal man, a DNA double helix.
The aliens are checking us out.
Just from the Brandenburg concertos.
But they're just fragments. A few notes here, a few notes there, some lines from the Quran, a Shakespearean sonnet.
Almost like someone's switching channels, huh?
Nothing to say to you.
Mrs. Morris, please, give me a minute to explain.
This wasn't his doing. He didn't want this.
I thought you were both supposed to be here to help us.
This has been a terrible mistake. And I assure you that the government will pay for all repairs and damages.
I don't want your money. I want my daughter back. And I want you to leave us alone.
But your son has seen something.
You stay away from me, and you stay away from my child.
It's a reasonable reaction. Wonder what kind of information he's picking up right now. Well, this feels like it's going to be an unpleasant...
I thought we were headed back into town. Where are we going?
Just feel like it might be a little rift in their
The key
relationship a little bit.
Finding Ruby. This is a boy who is receiving all kinds of digitized data from a television screen.
But
I think that Kevin is a conduit of some kind. A link or a connection to whoever or whatever took Ruby that night.
But how?
If there was an abduction, it's likely that Kevin was touched in some way.
Mulder, I know what you're thinking. I know why this is so important to you. I know. But there is no evidence indicating an abduction.
That's why we're going to Lake Okoboji.
Well, that's fair. They should check out the site before they say there's no
Police
evidence.
photos, Ruby and Kevin were sleeping right here.
Just a stone's throw from the forest wall.
Meaning what?
Meaning anybody could have come out of the forest to grab her.
Evidence of extreme heat.
Or an electrical storm. Besides which, there's nothing to connect it to the night of Ruby's disappearance.
Melted glass, it looks like.
A lightning strike could have caused this. Do you have any idea at what temperature sand solidifies into glass?
Yeah, really.
2,500 degrees Fahrenheit.
He's smart.
To turn sand into glass, to singe those trees, and to blister the roof of that camper.
Yep. That's pretty compelling evidence for what he's saying. Hello, wolf.
Mulder.
It's pretty. It's acting weird. Is that a wolf? I mean, it just looks smaller than the wolves I'm used to. Why are we chasing wolves in the forest? This isn't a good idea usually. Don't tell me that someone murdered her and that's her body. At least if she's abducted, there's a chance that we can get her back.
What is it?
And resolution for the family.
Grave.
Definitely is.
Shallow by the smell of it.
Shouldn't they call for backup or something?
Mulder, you are disturbing a crime scene.
Yeah.
Stop.
What if it's her? I need to know.
Yeah, Mulder. It's understandable that what he feels, but he needs to be professional because he can't disturb evidence, you know? Well, it's not the girl, that's good.
Victim's name was Greg Randall.
That's what I figured. He's old. No wonder they were running away together.
Ruby had a lot of boyfriends.
Yeah, not a robbery. Probably an abortion.
Look at that. It's her. The girl from the library. We didn't get her name, but she claimed Greg and Ruby had run off together.
I wonder what I know her from. I do recognize her face from something.
You lied to us the other day. We know that you had the appointment with Dr. Fowler on August 7th. We know that you're the one that's pregnant, not Ruby.
I don't know nothing, do you?
We can prove it, Tessa. And we can prove that Greg was the father.
So what if he was the father?
Do you understand how serious this is? Waive the right to an attorney. So if you lie to us here today, you could be charged with perjury.
Promise me we'd be in L.A. by Christmas.
You said that he and Ruby were seeing each other. You said that they were planning to meet at the lake. Is that true?
I was nowhere near the lake that night, okay?
Sure you were, Tessa. You knew they were meeting, so you sat there and you waited for them. You were angry and you were jealous.
I wasn't.
You sat there and you waited, and when they showed, you killed him first. Isn't that how it went?
No.
You snuck up from behind him and you shot him in the back. Bam!
Bam!
And then you killed Ruby. What was she doing right before she died, Tessa? Was she pleading for her life? Was she running away?
I didn't kill her.
Where's she buried, Tessa?
I don't know.
You don't know where you buried her, Tessa?
I didn't kill her.
You didn't.
She wasn't even there that night.
Well, how would you know that, Tessa, if you weren't there yourself?
Well, they solved that murder, but...
Which is that in all likelihood, Ruby is dead.
Is that your conclusion or the conclusion of the Sioux City Sheriff's Department?
They're searching the national park and...
They're wasting their time.
Do you really think Tessa Sears is telling the truth?
Why not? What if Ruby never did show up that night?
What makes you think she wouldn't lie to us about killing Ruby?
Because something was out there in those woods.
We have a suspect in custody. We have a confession to one murder, and we have a statement which speaks to the intent to commit another. It's over, Mulder.
I think she knows he's onto something, but she's trying to protect him.
Mulder, stop! Stop running after your sister.
There's some truth to that.
This won't bring her back.
Come with me or don't come with me. But until they find a body, I'm not giving up on that girl.
I understand both positions. She's trying to remind him of the professional, his job and the way it appears for him. But at the same time, I think she fully understands. I am tearing up a little bit from now. Before, it was from the previous show I was watching. That was for this. Wonder what that's about. So they just left. Oh, weird. I would be concerned that there's somebody still here that I would be a threat to me.
What does it mean?
I don't know.
Idea. Ooh, it's gonna look different from up here.
What is it?
Just come up here.
What's it gonna be?
It's her.
Oh, wow. That's really cool.
This is a long shot, Mulder. They could be anywhere.
You know, when I was a kid, I had this ritual. I'd close my eyes before I walked into my room because I thought that one day when I opened them, my sister would be there. Just lying in bed.
He's gonna make me cry, isn't he?
You know, I'm still walking into that room. Every day of my life.
Oh, that's genuinely really sad.
Scully!
I wonder why she left the tea on the stove to run out here. I guess maybe she saw the picture too and freaked out. I don't know.
Look, there's a trailhead.
Are you okay?
It's here. I saw it.
Where's Kevin?
I couldn't keep up.
Go ahead.
He always sees the things and Skelly never does. Yeah, Kevin, don't go over there. Well, maybe he's gonna get his sister back this way. That would be awesome. Frickin' bikers. I'd love to have a motorcycle. I've actually looked into it. I'd have to get a special one made for me, though, because I'm disabled.
She's here, I know it.
Kevin, I don't think she is. I know how much you wanted it to be her. I did too.
I'm feeling quite tense.
Ruby!
She's unconscious, but she's still alive.
I'll get help.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, why doesn't he just use a cell phone? Duh.
Any ideas what caused the coma?
There's no sign of head trauma, no narcotic traces, or electrolyte abnormalities. But her white blood cell count was sky high.
By any chance, was there an attendant reduction in the lymphocyte population or release of glucocorticoids?
Actually, both. How did you know that?
They're symptoms of prolonged weightlessness. Shuttle astronauts have reported similar imbalances.
That's pretty incredible. It's not conclusive, but it's definitely compelling.
Hi, Ruby.
Does she remember anything?
Who are you?
She has pretty light blue eyes, too. What are with all these pretty eyes?
How are you feeling?
Fine, I guess.
Where were you, Ruby? Can you tell us?
It's okay, Ruby. He knows.
I'm not supposed to tell. They told me not to say.
Who told you? Ruby, who told you?
Sweetheart, you don't have to say anything.
Come on, they believed you and they came out to help you, lady. Show some, I don't even know, just don't be antagonistic.
I think that it's best that we put all of this behind us. I mean, hasn't
protect
Ruby
the kid.
been through enough already?
I know how disoriented she must seem right now, but in a couple weeks, maybe even a few days, we could...
I don't want her talking to you, or anyone.
She should be encouraged to tell her story, not to keep it inside. It's important that you let her.
Like I did. All of my life I have been ridiculed for speaking my mind.
But it was the truth, Darlene.
The truth has caused me nothing but heartache. I don't want the same thing for her.
I understand that.
As far as I'm concerned, she spent the last month on the back of a Harley Davidson.
Is that what you're going to tell Kevin?
I'm sorry.
I understand her position there. She's just trying to protect her children, and I get that.
Try turning your head.
Samantha. Why is her name Samantha and his name's Fox? That's weird. Usually parents don't name a really normal name and a really weird name, usually. Obviously not always.
But I can hear her.
I wonder how she got these files.
She's calling out my name. She's crying out for help. But I can't help her because of the voice.
The voice?
The voice in my head.
What's it telling you?
Not to be afraid. It's telling me that no harm will come to her. And that one day she'll return.
Do you believe the voice?
I want to believe.
Oh. Alright. So we just got more backstory on Mulder and all of that. That was quite sad. I was hoping not to have another sad show because the last show I saw was pretty heavy too. The one I recorded this morning, so I've just been crying all morning. Well, tearing up all morning. I'm not properly crying. Okay, well, we learned a lot about Mulder. We didn't learn much about Scully. Not about her backstory, anyway. That was a really interesting episode. I'm glad that the girl came back, and I do understand the mother's perspective there. I do. It's, one of those rough situations where there's not really a clear right or wrong. It's just the sad truth that if the girl tells her story, she's going to be ostracized, and people are going to judge her and assume she's lying, and assume she's crazy, she's making it up, all kinds of things. So the mother's trying to protect her from that. And I get it. And I get that Mulder wants more information because that could lead him to his sister, or at least that's what he hopes. And so yeah, I get it. It's rough. Alright, hopefully soon we'll learn about Scully more. But until then, I'm enjoying learning about Mulder. I really enjoy him. He's adorable. And he made me sad. Alright, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave me a comment or a like. That helps out a lot, and I do appreciate it. You can always subscribe for more, and you can check out the Patreon. And otherwise, I hope to see you in the next one. I'm Jessie Nebulous. Bye!